and pants.
We clap to start.
Yeah.
Do you want us to clap?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
Wow.
Did you feel the power of that?
That was a lot of power. There was a lot of main character energy.
There was a lot of main character energy.
Yeah.
Guys, we are so excited today because we have the one and only Roxie Nafousi. I can't even list off your fucking achievements because there's so many. But
we try?
You can try.
Okay.
I'm not good at that.
Author,
Yeah.
podcast host, brand founder. Can we say where it's going to be stopped?
Yeah.
About to be stopped in Space NK. Mother, friend, underrated funny person.
Yeah, oh my
Brilliant
God.
friend. You
Thank
are a
you.
brilliant
Aw.
friend.
The list goes on and on.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Queen
You
Roxie
missed
in the house.
speaker.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
manifestation coach,
Yeah,
writer,
manifestation queen.
business owner.
Hold on, I've got a really good
Oh
one.
no, she said that one.
Persimmon. What do we call
What?
that fruit?
Oh, persimmon influencer.
Persimmon
The
influencer.
PR of persimmon.
But do you know they're actually called Sharon fruit as well?
Yes, that is another name for them,
Yeah.
Sasha.
We went.
They're not actually called that. They are called persimmon. But
Persimmon.
you can also
call
call
it a
them
Sharon fruit. In Sainsbury's, it's called a Sharon fruit.
Yeah, the
because I-
Sainsbury's ones are not good.
Oh,
I would say that's actually your greatest achievement. is your persimmon
It would, because
influencing.
can I just say that everybody I have talked to about persimmon has started eating them and loving them.
They're
so you could
amazing.
say that I changed lives in more ways than one.
you have. You
And
have.
you've changed Sharon's life.
God bless
God
Sharon.
bless
Sharon just got chic.
We're just so excited because for all of the successes that Roxie, and you may know Roxie for, well, you've been a beautiful, gorgeous friend of mine closely for about 4 years. We met 5 years ago, didn't we? And obviously, you know Roxie as well.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the reason why we so desperately wanted to get her on Spill is because she's actually like low-key fucking funny, and you just aren't going to get to see this side of her.
It's making me scream. Her response to this. Thank you.
Yeah, she knows.
Do you know it's one of the? I just wish people knew this about me.
Well, they're about
And
to.
it fucking no, because the pressure, guys. But it does pain me because I,
Is that tear coming down your cheek?
because I have always been funny.
Yeah, you have.
And nobody knows because
No.
when I'm talking about self-development, it's not the time to be that.
Crack a joke.
No.
Now's your time.
I would argue
Roxie.
otherwise, but that's
I
okay.
do feel like it's a hidden gift saved for my friends and family.
Yeah.
But now you're giving me the opportunity, but the pressure may be too much. So now I may be very unfunny.
No, you
And
won't.
You
won't.
just be your wonderful self.
I know that you guys are actually that you're idiots because you missed you stopped you I told you should have hit record when I walked in.
We were recording. We said this to Victoria as well, though. We were like, we just chat shit. Like, we don't even know what the title of the podcast is going to be until like this episode comes out. We don't even know. We literally just sit on the sofa and chat shit. So you're welcome to come and sit and chat shit with us.
Oh my God, I'm so honoured.
And we have some really good talking points as well, don't we?
Okay.
I'm just going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Now, one of the other things, let me just get these up a minute so we know what we're doing.
This is the level of professionalism
No,
we're
I
We're
love
fucking
it.
useless.
I absolutely love it.
So we have some really exciting questions that we're going to ask because one of the other things that I'm literally just going to blow your head up, but one of the other things that I love you for is your relationship advice is absolutely unmatched.
Thank you.
Maybe I should have saved my dilemma for this.
Well,
Maybe I will present my dilemma.
maybe
Do
we will.
this.
We have some questions.
But we have asked our Spill
Okay.
audience to give us their dating dilemmas so that we can pose them to you at the end. And they've gone big. There's some really juicy
Yeah, we
ones.
have
in
them.
there.
I am very excited.
But to start off, for the people who perhaps don't know you for whatever reason, can you give us a brief overview of who you are, what you're about, and what your favourite snack is before you go to bed? Because it's so iconic.
Is there 28 supplements? No.
No, afterwards,
other than that.
she finishes the entire routine of those supplements
Yeah.
with a snack that I was like, what?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, every night.
Wait, hold on. What's the snack? You got to give us that first.
A bowl of gluten-free cornflakes,
With,
Every night.
with milk or just the
soy milk, and loads of sweetener. Sanderel classic.
Every night.
Every single night. As in, I've tried to wean myself off it. I tried not to buy it. And I was like, I lasted a day and I was like, what am I doing?
Oh, you were like itching to get it.
They are cold, crunchy, delicious. In fairness, they've got no sugar in. And cornflakes, I think, need to make a comeback.
They are. It's a great cereal.
I don't
is.
use them as a cereal. I actually use them as a chicken coating.
What?
I coat my chicken in cornflakes.
What do you mean?
Stick it in the air fryer. It's how you make crunchy chicken.
Do you like crush it up?
Yeah, so you kind of scrunch it all down so it's more like small, fine bits of cornflakes. You season your chicken in whatever you want to season it in, egg wash the chicken, stick the cornflakes on, smush, 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 put it in the air fryer. It's the best chicken tenders of your life.
You are
I'm
in
never
chef
going
era.
to do it. No.
You are in a little bit of a cooking era.
I do two things very well: crepes and pie.
So
Honestly, so good at those things.
they do look good.
But
Sorry,
nothing else.
we digress
Yeah,
from cornflakes.
That's my favorite snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really good. I try to stop. I just can't.
Don't stop if it suits.
Do you know what I was like? It makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's better than taking cocaine.
Yeah. Way better. Cornflakes,
Whatever.
cocaine,
Cornflakes.
same.
You know what I mean? Like when I'm like, oh God, should I? I'm like,
There's worse things in life.
there's a
than
lot
cornflakes.
worse.
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
I
You
could
run
be doing.
free.
Yeah, exactly. Live my best cornflake life. Who am I? I am. Well, you already named all my wonderful achievements. I think my mission is really just to help people like feel as good as possible, and I think that I try to do it by taking people on my own journey and being open and honest and vulnerable in my own story, and I hope never coming from a place of like perfection. It's not that I've got it all figured out and that my life is like great every single day, but throughout my own journey I've learned a lot, and hopefully I can share it with other people and help them to live their best lives.
You have been mega honest. Well, my perception is that you have online with like the things that you do struggle with when it comes to confidence and body image and things like that. And I also think that ends up helping more people than you realize, because it gives them a bit of an insight like, oh, it's not just me that feels that way. So you have been really honest about those things online. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think, well, it's weird because I think with the body image stuff, I probably haven't been as open about that as I have with other stuff, because actually I was still battling with my own kind of BDD, which is body dysmorphia disorder. It's basically been such a big part of my life, and I know you guys know this deeply because we've spoken about it, but I haven't spoken about it much online because I think that with body dysmorphia disorder, basically it's a form of OCD. So it's an anxiety disorder, and it kind of is really like, it operates in the same way where you can have like an obsessive thought, a checking behavior, and it really is this kind of like ruminating thought process that feels completely out of your control. And while most people can understand OCD, they can kind of be able to like conceptualize it. Yeah, I can understand that is a mental health disorder if you're checking, the light switch 50 times or whatever it is. When it comes to BDD, which is an obsession with a perceived flaw in the way that you look, it can be about your body, or for me, it's my face. It's really hard for people to understand because to them, it's just vanity. And so a lot of people don't talk about it openly. And I was one of those because I felt so embarrassed in a way, and I had so much shame around it. And also I didn't even realize I had it until 2022. I think I was diagnosed at the Priory. And so up until then, I also just thought like, why do I care so much about the way that I look? And for me, the way it was that I was just so convinced that I was completely monstrous, and the way that I looked was just so revolting and disgusting that I would genuinely feel sorry for anybody to have to look at my face. And I masked it with drugs for most of my life, like going out and partying, and it was just the only way I could feel a sense of confidence. And then when I got pregnant and I had to give up all my addictions, basically what came to light was this BDD. And I cannot tell you, I mean, I just felt like I wanted to rip my face off. Like I hated myself so much. I felt so horrified and disgusted that actually what I did was I turned to binge eating. So I gained 30 kilos in that pregnancy. But with that, I also stopped leaving the house almost entirely for about 6 months. I was like truly repulsed by myself. And what happened was after I had Wolf, I kind of like went back to eating more like nutritiously. I always loved kind of like health and wellness anyway. So I tried to kind of help myself through that. But even after I lost the weight, the obsession with how disgusting I felt my face was actually worse. And I think it was worse because of lockdown. So we were looking at ourselves a lot on camera and on Zoom. And I was just like, it was so overwhelming. And I remember, you know, when you could start going for walks with people, I remember like Josh Smith, I remember going to meet him for a walk and being like, oh my God, like, I can't believe he's going to have to look at my face. It was like, I felt so guilty and so it was just awful. And then what happened was my book Manifest came out in 2022. And all of a sudden I'm asked to like go on TV and do all these interviews. And for the next basically like 3 years, I was like putting myself through hell every week. So the only way that someone described it to me like this, and I was like, oh my God, it's such a good way to explain it, is asking someone with anorexia, I want you to eat this cake right now. And that's how it felt to me every time I was putting myself on camera. And it was truly awful. Like, it was awful. I would have panic attacks constantly. And I think that, I just wasn't talking about it. I would like kind of tell my closest friends because I just was so embarrassed. I was like, why do I care? Like, I don't care what anyone else looks like. I know like that whenever I'm listening to anybody, whether it's on TV, at dinner, wherever I am, I'm never thinking like, how does this person look? I'm just thinking about what they're saying and how they make me feel. But I could not rationalize it. And it was only when, and I used to have this obsessive checking behavior. So I would look and dissect pictures of myself every night before bed. It would be like a form of self-harm, basically, where you kind of like, I'd just be like, oh my God, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. So eventually I ended up having a rhinoplasty that was actually in 2021 before I knew I had BDD. So when I was going to have this rhinoplasty, my nose had grown a lot during my pregnancy and I had really severe sinusitis, I think from all the drug taking. And so I'd been on steroids loads, and my ENT doctor, David Roberts, was basically like, I need to do an operation. And I was like, great, can you do a nose job at the same time? And in my head, I was like, this is going to
So you coded.
Yeah. I was like, fantastic, so efficient.
Yeah.
So I was like, great. So in my head, I was like, right, I'm going to have this surgery and then all my self-loathing is going to go. Like, this will be it. And I remember actually like a week before, I was trying to film this reel for Clinique. And it was like for their skincare, which I like loved. I used to use Moisture Surge like I went through bottles of it, right? And I was so excited and I got this job and I wasn't like getting loads of jobs at the time. So I was so excited and I got my friend Julia to come round. And I still remember it because it was so traumatic for me that I was getting her to film so close up that like the video was just like tiny squares off my face.
It could have been anyone.
Because I just did not want to show my face. I'm like, I just should not have accepted those jobs. But I remember thinking then like, oh, thank God I've got my nose job. Like, it's going to be like the thing that changes me. Anyway, obviously had the nose job. It's a big recovery. Your nose is swollen for like years. Like even how my nose looked a year ago, like is so different to now because the residual swelling. But I think once I'd had the nose job, I'd had the Botox, I'd had the, skin boosters to lift me. And still, in my eyes, I was a monster.
This is really hard to hear. It's really hurting my heart that's how you felt about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm so grateful that you are speaking so honestly about it. But like, as someone who's your friend and loves you, like it's really painful to know that's how
you felt for so many years.
And also how you talked to yourself.
Yeah. It was like a really familiar intensity that comes with it. Like as soon as you're like, there's something for me, it was like my eyebrows. Then from my nose, then it went to my eyebrows. And it was just like such a overwhelming anxiety of how gross I was. And I got to May 2024 and I was basically like, I have created so much success in my life. I have so much to be grateful for. I have tried everything that I can. And what's happening is, although I have so much, I have changed my life in so many ways, right? I had, my dream home and my son, and I loved my job, and work for me was such an amazing place for me to kind of find my confidence because I was so confident in what I could offer the world. But then once the work was done, in all those in-between spaces, I would just be thinking about how disgusting I was. That was all I could think about. So if I wasn't distracted by work, that I couldn't relax in any kind of like joy. So I was like, I cannot live like this anymore. And so actually, and I don't think I've shared this before, but I went on medication. So I went on sertraline, and I was really kind of hesitant to do it because I was like, I don't know how that's going to help. Like the fact is, in my head, I was like, the fact is I am ugly, so I should just accept it. And my sister, who's a GP, was like, look, just try it because you just never know. And if it doesn't work for you, then you can come off. And almost overnight, my whole life changed.
Wow.
I remember that coffee, the coffee we went on where you'd been on it for like 3 weeks. And I was like, what the fuck has happened to you?
What is it? I don't know what it is.
It's a form of antidepressant, right?
Yeah, it's an SSRI.
Right.
So it's like a serotonin re-uptake inhibitor. So it basically like helps you to keep more serotonin in your brain, I think. And it's the most kind of like commonly used antidepressant.
Right.
So people can use for antidepressant or anti-anxiety disorders. And I do remember when I was about to go on it, I called my dad and I was like, Dad, just so you know, like I'm going to start this medication for my anxiety. And he was like, you do know it's your anxiety that makes you so successful. And I was like, what a weird thing to say. Anyway, I start taking sertraline and I was just like float. I was like, hey guys, what's up? And my team were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, what emails? I'm like, just answer whenever, which is like so not me. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can live like this because I am not going to get any work done because I'm so fucking relaxed. I was like, I get on my dad's head now. Anyway, it leveled out. And
there's a happy medium in there somewhere. Yeah.
And I was like, it's fine. And actually, it was, and I'm actually really glad I'm sharing this because I didn't know that was an option before. Firstly, I think so many people have body dysmorphia disorder and don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that there's no shame around it. Like it is a disorder. And but there is things that can be done. So I also, alongside it, I mean, the sertraline did change my life, but I have to say, I think that is also because I was doing everything else.
Yeah.
I was doing all the inner work. If you just went on medication, I don't know if it would have such a profound effect. For me, it was almost like the last thing that I needed to help me. So that all the inner work and meditation and breath work and journaling and inner talk and all of that actually had space to work. And it has been such an incredible journey since. And it's not that now it's like, I feel like what I have accepted is that I will always live with it. So yesterday, for example, when I have PMS, I'm like, it is really triggered. And I think it's because when your mental resilience is down. So yesterday, I was literally like, I'm cancelling my photo shoot, any events where I'm on camera. I actually just don't know why I do a job on camera. And I just want to focus on the writing and the talks. And I'm not doing any content jobs anymore. I don't want to be in front of camera.
Is this what you were telling your team?
Yeah, literally
So
yesterday.
they've all got no job yesterday.
Literally yesterday. I was like, I actually just hate
is really
it.
nodding along. Yeah.
I was like, I just don't see the point. I actually
Guys, I'm actually just going to tap out.
Yeah, I'm done.
It's no more Roxie Nafousi. Manifest is done. We're over.
I was like, I think I'm just going to focus on like the stuff where I can do indoors. Anyway, today I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, I feel fire. Get me on that camera. So yeah, it's an ongoing journey, but we're here.
I love you for sharing that. That will help so many people.
It's so important. And I think people will look at you objectively and see a very objectively beautiful person. And the disconnect then is to prove that just because what you see is not necessarily how someone feels.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about it from a bigger body perspective. And it's really, like I said, really heartbreaking, but really interesting to know that exists in things that in people who don't just struggle with the things that I struggle with. And I think it's so much more prevalent than we give it credit. And also debilitating. Like it literally makes you want to stay in the house and never leave again. And that's, sad for all the Persimmons, but like sad for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not, but it's so real. It's really real, and it's it is. I can sit here and say it's really sad, but then I should also hold a mirror up to myself and be like, that's exactly how I treat myself. That's exactly how I talk to myself. Like for years, I didn't even moisturize any part of my body I didn't like, because I was like, it's not worth it.
So it is so sad.
It is sad,
like
but it's real.
It is, and so many. And when this was really so much of what motivated me to write my confidence book, because what I realized was that so many women are not. There was a study by Dove, I think, that like 70% of women don't do an activity because of the way that they look. And I just think it is really, really challenging for women, because there is so much focus on the way that we look. And it's one of those things where I find it really hard to talk about personally, because I also do love when I'm not in my like, I fucking hate myself mode. I love dressing in a nice outfit and taking fab pictures and going out. And I'm like, and in that mode, I'm like, yes, I'm 35 and I'm not going to be young forever. And I just want to like finally step into my power. And so I feel like in some sense I'm part of the problem, because but social media does kind of like exacerbate this pressure to look a certain way. And I just think it's something that women need to be more compassionate with each other and to themselves about.
Totally.
But also the honesty of accepting that it does come in waves, and that you can feel in the pit of all of those feelings where you're like, I literally cannot leave the house. But then you can also accept when those moments and waves come where you're like, let's go. I'm fucking brilliant.
And allowing
I get that.
those two people to coexist. I think this is where the sort of judgment of social media is so loud. But it's like, well, she just said that she can't leave the house because she's, she feels so put out by the way she looks. And now she's posting a selfie like, liar, fake news. Like, I think this judgment on women particularly, I know the boys will be eye rolling us, but this judgment on women there needs to be an end soon, because it's not like, it's just not good, where it's like, well, she says that she felt shit, but actually she's like flaunting this or doing this. Like, no, I'm just trying my best to exist today
exactly
in all that I can do, and I want to be this person, and sometimes this person drags me back
totally, and
then days where I can push forward with this person, I'm so pleased that she's fucking taken a back seat. Like, I don't need to hear from BDD today, she needs a quiet moment.
Exactly. And I think that's almost like the best advice you can give to people listening, is that so much of it is about this acceptance of like, you're not supposed to feel good every single day.
No.
It's just not possible. And actually you do. I feel so much better today because I felt shit yesterday. Because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy to be out of that. And I think that growth and self-development, because I do believe in the power of healing and working on yourself, what happens, it doesn't mean that you will never feel those things again, but you will feel them a fuck of a lot less, and your bounce back will be so much stronger. Because I think when you haven't done any work on yourself and you haven't experienced those better days, then actually when you do have that kind of like self-loathing moment, you make it mean so much, and you attach to it, and it can like wipe out weeks. Whereas once you started to like commit to yourself, and that's why I'm just so passionate about, that journey of confidence and manifestation, because then you're like, okay, I know what's happening. I have more self-awareness. I know what maybe triggered this. I know my emotional resilience is down. I also know how to get myself out of this. Or at the very least, I know to just stay calm, not make any rash decisions, not cancel my whole life, because I will come out the other side.
It's one of the things I love so much about you, though, is how authentic you are to yourself, because I know the woman that I met whenever it was. I'm not very good at dates.
Oh my God, do you remember our first podcast?
When you did Filter Drop, no?
Yeah, so we did. I had a series called Filter Drop series, and Filter Drop in Conversation with. It's good that I can remember my own fucking brand. And you were one of the guests because we'd connected during lockdown. We'd done an interview on your first podcast, wasn't it?
Yeah, The Moments That Made Me.
Yeah. And you text me, you're like, I'm upstairs and I'm having a breakdown. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go meet this girl. And then to think about that woman, this was 2 weeks before Manifest was due to come out. Do you remember?
Was it?
Yeah. The book hadn't come out.
Oh
was this
my
just after
God.
lockdown?
This was 2021 end of. Yeah,
So,
I mean, that was, I hated that experience.
Yeah, the whole thing. I mean, we were both completely, entirely different women to the women that we are today. But I I think one thing I've always stood by when it comes to your journey online and everything that you've amounted to with your success is that it is authentic and genuine to you, because I know that when you feel all of those highs, you're genuinely feeling flames. And then I also know that when you're locking yourself in your house to make crepes with Wolf is because you don't even want to see a mirror in your house and you probably smash them all up. And I love that you own that, because that is the extremes of what it is to be a woman, really.
100%.
Yeah.
That is just like the way it goes.
Yeah.
For all the people listening thinking, oh, well, okay, well, like, what's she doing? What fills your cup?
Oh my God, so much. Firstly, I think it's like really understanding what I actually enjoy doing and what makes you happy and where is like my safe spaces. And for example, like I just fucking hate going out in the evenings. I know this sounds insane, but 7:30 p.m. is too late for me to have dinner. Can we make it a breakfast? Going to like workouts when I can. Again, and I feel like I don't put pressure on myself to do anything. So even with exercise, I can go 3 weeks without because I just don't have the time. And then when I do, but I don't think in those 3 weeks like, oh God, what's wrong with me? I'm such an idiot. Do you know what I mean?
Would you have felt that way before?
Yeah, I think we just put so much unnecessary pressure on ourselves.
So if you're having a bad day now, what is the turning point moment where you can pull yourself back out of it?
I think if I'm having a bad day, I kind of go back very much to like basics and slowing things down. So it's like getting outside for fresh air. Genuinely, like a long walk honestly can cure so many things.
Amen.
Watching something funny on TV, like just to put you in a good mood.
Spill, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Getting Spill on. Speaking, voice noting your friends, like letting it out, venting if you need to.
Yeah.
And a really good night's sleep. Honestly, like good sleep is key.
Sleep does do a lot.
Yeah.
And they sound like such simple things, but when you're in the depths of your brain like twisting how you're feeling, you can't even reach for those simple things, right?
I know, you just think you need
feel so far out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I cancel a lot.
I
sound like such a not good person.
Cancelling is good.
Oh, sorry. Also, I know the person on the other side is fucking thrilled.
It's true.
Sorry, how good is it when you see that text being like, babe, do you mind it? If you're
Do you mind it? Yeah.
I do not mind. I do not mind you. Knock yourself out.
Yeah. I love a cancel.
I love a cancel. No, but I will cancel things. Like if I feel like it is just going to like cause me too much, then there's no, you just got to have boundaries. Like I think that even then when I'm like, oh my God, people are going to think I'm such a bitch. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a bitch. Like I'm not, I'm actually, I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
But I do really like want to look after myself. And I
Yeah.
just want to encourage everyone to do that. Like, you can have boundaries and that doesn't make you a bitch. It doesn't make you selfish. It just means that when people get you, they get the best of you.
And the alternative is you show up for those people less than half of who you are, and that's not benefiting them or the friendship or the relationship in any capacity.
Or the work,
Yeah.
I mean, I have the privilege, I suppose, of, having my own company. So it's not as easy. I understand you can't just be like, I'm feeling a bit shit today, so I'm not going to show up to work unless you're Gen Z. But, but you know what I mean?
They have boundaried hard.
Oh, wow.
In the workplace.
Wow. Yeah.
We're not negging on all the Gen Zers.
No,
but
it's good.
A few of you could stay past
They
it.
took boundaries to the boundary.
There is such funny memes about it. I do love it.
Yeah, they are good.
But it's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
We want to talk about love and relationships.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Well, I've got so many questions.
Wait, 1 minute. Did you sleep on sharing your iconic story?
I don't know how iconic it is.
It's so iconic.
Is it?
Yes.
It's everything I want out of my life is that little situation.
Okay.
I mean,
so-
it happened once, twice.
For context, this is the thing. It just casually came out of her mouth, and me and Billy were like, "Sorry, what? That is so iconic." Guys, if you remember the Vogue title, like recently, where it was like having a boyfriend is embarrassing, I feel like this is the next one. Roxie, tell everybody what your latest discovery is with regards to not a relationship, not a situationship, but to have a.
No, you tell me what I said.
She said that she's got a snog buddy. And she said that she just meets up, has a snog, and then cracks on with her day.
I just think that is probably the only thing I'd want to do out of my day in a situationship. But that's all I want. I'm like,
It's so chic.
go for a walk, have a snog, get on with your day.
Because also, that's the best bit.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, let me explain.
Buckle in.
Right. I've been single for some time. A year. And in that, I've dated one person. It didn't end so well. Classic avoidant. And I'm now secure. So as soon as I saw it, I won't go into that story. One day I will. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, it's not for me.
Ran.
Goodbye. Anyway, someone got in touch who I went for dinner with. Very, very good looking guy. We didn't have tons in common. And by tons, I mean nothing. And so at the end, he smelled really good. Great fragrance.
Green
Pinot
flag.
Noir,
Yeah.
you know, the Labo.
Not
If a guy
not
wears
the man's
that,
rage.
not yet,
Not yet.
but I will. For this very reason.
Inspired by.
Inspired by
Snogging partners.
Snog Buddy.
Yeah, that's the name of the scent. Snog buddy.
Oh my God.
Although buddy's not quite chic, but yeah.
Snog me.
Snog me. Snog me.
Snog me. By the way.
Just had a business meeting.
Yeah. Okay, so went for dinner. He smelled really good, very good looking. And as we know now, going for dinner for me is quite a big deal. And so after an hour, I was like, okay, I've got to go. Like, it's 8:30, time for bed. And so he walks me out and we just had a really great snog. And I went home and I was like, that was fantastic. Like, got some food, had a quick snog, went home all by 9 p.m.
Stunning.
So I was like really into it.
Very efficient, yeah.
So then we met again one more time and we went to a pub and I thought maybe the conversation will get slightly better. It didn't.
And that's okay.
And that's okay, but he's really well dressed.
Smells
really
delicious.
Good looking, smells delicious. And I was like, you can walk me home. And we just snogged walking home. And then I was like, goodbye. And then it happened one more time where we just met for a quick snog on the river. And then I went back to work.
Is that not just so iconic?
I don't know, is it?
I think it really is.
I would like it to keep up. though.
I would just say it happened those 3 times. It has not happened since. Bear in mind, by the way, I have not snogged or been on any other dates in the entire year. So I feel like I owed it to myself.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
There's nothing greater than a cheeky snog.
It was a cheeky snog. It was
and
really
also
fun.
the kiss is good because they're not always good. They can be really good
Yeah.
looking and it doesn't mean they're a good kisser.
No,
I
it was
agree.
good. It was good. So, you know, I just am trying to be more fun because I'm not super fun. And actually, that was quite fun of me.
Very fun.
So
Yeah.
is this what you want to kind of do going forward? Not just to have snog buddies, but like, is this like a new era that we're stepping into like fun?
You know, I've been
dating
saying
era?
for so long, I'm like, I am so ready to date. I am so ready to have fun, feel sexy. I've not been on one date. Okay, so I feel like it's the era I'm stepping into mentally.
I see some day dates on the horizon. You know, like way before 7:30.
No, I went on Gustav Guy's podcast and he was talking about day dates, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Not into that.
So when are we
6
going to
p.m.
carve out a time?
6 p.m. dinner.
That must end at 7:30.
About, yeah.
Right.
I mean, if I'm not interested, I will leave in 45 minutes for sure. The
Look, you've
greatest
gotta
thing
preserve
about
the
having a
time.
kid is like, oh, babysitters just text me.
House on
You know what
fire.
I mean?
Gotta go.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what does
Okay.
the love life look like?
Okay, so basically,
Like
you know,
the real one.
the real one. No, so that is the real no, that's it. No, do you know what it is? Okay, basically, I feel like I have maybe an unconventional view on love, and that is that I don't and have never really been sold by the idea of one person forever. Like, I love the idea of having lots of incredible love affairs in my life. I think that we grow so much as people. Like, who I am now to who I was 10 years ago, I mean, 5 years ago, 10 years ago is so different. And I love the idea that for each stage of my life, I would have this like incredible love affair. And someone told me really early on that, you know, the best love stories don't always end in happily ever after. And so I really loved that. And I was like, oh my God, how great to just have like multiple incredible love stories and that passion and excitement. However, having said that, I may just not have met the right person. And maybe I will meet that person who I think, actually, no, I do want you to be my forever. But yeah, I mean, I've also never been proposed to, so we are manifesting that.
I see a love book on the horizon, surely.
I get it. I think it makes a lot of sense. And Bills and I talk about this a lot because dating in this day and age is obviously fucking on crack. What do you think has like gone wrong? Because the love stories that we watch in the movies aren't real.
No.
The love stories that we hear of where they say, I've been married for 50 years, they ain't happy either. So like, what do we think's happened? Because maybe it's a 2-year turnover and that's the answer. I don't know.
I think actually what it is that we have such a romanticized view of love that once it gets tough, I think people just tap out.
Yeah.
And I think that
everyone's disposable now.
Yeah, and I think that if you are somebody who does want that forever person, then you do have to understand what comes with that. And that is commitment and compromise and communication. And I think that, you know, the problem is if you constantly have this view of, I'm going to meet my one person and we are just going to get on like a house of fire all the time. We're always going to be in love and we're still going to want to have sex with each other all the time in 10 years. And of course, it's going to feel like a constant disappointment. Whereas I think if we were able to have a more like rounded view of like what love really means and what having that safe space in a partner really means, you might actually find yourself so much more fulfilled in that long-term relationship and so much more willing to work through those tough times. But it just depends what you really want. So for me, I don't know if I really want that. So, you know, even with Wade, when we are such good friends, we love each other so much. We had a baby together. We make great parents, you know, together. We could have stayed and made it work. But what we both felt was that ultimately we would be sacrificing too much of ourselves to try and fit into each other's lives and to fit as a couple. And neither of us wanted to do that. But maybe we would have if we were different people. Maybe we would have thought, you know what? We are so different and we want different things and we have different needs, but my priority is to have one safe, solid family unit. And so even though that means some sacrifice, that is what I'm willing to do. And so I think it really is about in the beginning of your kind of dating journey is really understanding, like, do you want these like wonderful love affairs, in which case have the, you know, that intensity and the honeymoon periods and all of that, but understand that that is not going to end in the same place as it is if you're looking for someone to really live your whole life with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that having Wolf and being a mum has changed your perspective of that? Because you do have this connection with another person that you are going to have a lifetime with.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I think the fact that I have Wolf, I already have my forever person in many ways. And I think that, of course, biologically as a woman, I don't have that same pressure to meet someone because if I want children, right? And so I feel that being a mom already does put me in a very different position in either way I view dating, because I probably don't have that pressure on it.
Yeah. It does change everything.
It does. It really does.
And I think, but also yours has been quite an unconventional route to not just motherhood, but like how you've navigated that relationship, because people would have just put aside what they want as an individual for the sake of a unit.
Yeah.
And so many people do. And like, you know, as particularly our parents' generation, once you have the kids, there's no leaving that relationship. There's no like, you don't get to consider yourself.
No, and that's what I witnessed. Like my parents hated each other. Like it was an arranged marriage. They were polar opposites. I never saw them exchange one minuscule piece of affection towards each other. And I haven't got very good examples of like healthy love. I think I know maybe 2 couples that have really great long-term relationships. Other than that, I see a lot of unhappy people that stay with them. So I'm sure that's influenced my perspective on long-term relationships and that one person forever. And by the way, this is not to say that, like, I don't want to sound like I'm pessimistic about love. I love love.
Yeah.
I think love is incredible. I just think that love doesn't have to be one person forever. It can be, and for some people it's amazing, but there's also another version of love
Yeah.
that for me right now at least feels more aligned.
Love that.
I guess it also doesn't have to define you. And I think we talk about relationships a lot on this podcast, in that, like, we're, you know, whether we're actively searching for it or not, like looking for this kind of life affirming feeling, right? Where it's, you meet somebody and that's what makes life worth living. And that's what makes everything make sense. Like all of the color that was missing has now been brought to life because you understand what this love is. And the older I get, the more I realize that love is not just in a romantic relationship. And I think it's really important to like sit with that feeling and recognize it. And maybe that does bleed into having multiple loves in your life. And we also say this a lot, like everybody's here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And the ones who are here for a lifetime, it's not many. Like it's a really small number. So maybe there's something to be said for actually thinking about it totally differently.
I think it's really interesting in that like kind of point around, you know, is our relationships like the thing that makes us happy? And
we pedestal it.
Yeah. And I think I have found it really fascinating dating in such a different stage of my life, because the last time I was dating, I had no career, no money, no self-worth, and my dating experience could not have been more different. I wanted someone forever. I wanted someone with money. I wanted someone who could support me. I wanted all these things that really came from desperation and neediness and low self-worth. And, you know, having a baby with someone that had no money, you know, actually was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it forced me to become who I am today. And Wade won't mind me saying that, by the way.
We love Wade.
And he's amazing. And he offered me so much more in so many other ways. And dating from this place is so different. And I think it's different in so many ways. Firstly, it's different because who I'm now attracted to is going to be completely different, right? Because maybe those guys before that had this like bravado and kind of like perceived confidence, and, you know, they were showy or whatever, or they flaunted their wealth or their success, that to me was like, oh my God, like maybe I could have a little bit of what you have. Like maybe that means I'm cool, or I'm, you know, worth something if someone like you chooses me, right? That is no longer there. So I'm not, that cuts out about 90% of the men I was attracted to. I'm also now really more concerned with actual chemistry. Like, is there chemistry, you know, which you cannot gauge online?
No.
So nobody that you see on a dating app, I don't know how you're possibly going to, or how I'm possibly going to be able to gauge if I have chemistry with someone. I won't. And so all I will be able to go on is, do I think that they look handsome enough, which for me is ridiculous. And I've just never been like that bothered by looks. I think it is just like sex appeal and chemistry. So that kind of cancels out the last 10% because I don't leave the house. So yeah, cool.
She's falling from the sky.
So really lucky that I'm so happy being single. But I am, you know, I feel that my life is so fulfilled. And actually, I love not having the anxiety of texting someone. But what my therapist has said, which I think is really interesting, is that this is actually a really dangerous place for me to be in, because if I get too used to and too happy being without someone, it will be much, much harder for me to find someone. And so is really trying to push me to start dating more, even just for the sake of it, because I actually have to remind myself how good love is. And actually, even though I love my life now, it could be made even more colorful and gorgeous with the presence of love.
Yeah. Look, we love love on this podcast. Sometimes we love a bit too much that we just sit here and cry.
But we're also just confused by so many aspects of it. But it's great to have these conversations because it just sheds a light on the fact that it is not as simple as you meet one person and you fall in love and there's fireworks and then you stay together forever. Like, it just doesn't happen.
It's not that simple. And everyone, and I feel like I have to remember this so much when I am just judging myself or comparing myself to other people. Everyone's life does look different. Like I think it's so easy to get wrapped up in the comparison of like, we're all in our mid-30s. Sorry, Sash, we're just adding a couple of years on. In our mid-30s here.
I am mid, aren't I? 34.
Yeah, fair.
Oh yeah.
And all our lives look so different.
Proud of that one.
Welcome to the club.
Mid-30s.
Yeah, all our lives
Yeah.
look so different. And yet we wouldn't judge each other as friends. So like, why do I feel this like rising sense of not good enough or not worthy enough, or like I feel this huge judgment constantly that I'm failing at this like one innately human thing where I'm supposed to be sharing my life with somebody else and I'm supposed to understand what love is and know what love is, but actually like there's so few people that have got this correctly figured out.
No.
We're all just bumbling, really.
And also, like, again, it's coming back to that expectation that you've just put on yourself.
Yeah.
It's like people use that word, like, I thought I was supposed to have done this by this. And it's like, according to who? Do you know what I mean? Like, life is long. Like, we're living longer than ever.
True.
And so you have got decades ahead of you, inshallah. And, you know, I think it's like, it is this kind of, yes, you might not have your person right now, but there's people who have found their person, they've already divorced them. No offense.
Do you know what I mean?
You know, and so you never know when you're going to meet. It could be tomorrow. You could just walk in somewhere and you meet your person.
I would love that. That'd be so convenient.
Yeah.
Your problem is that you actually think what you watch on the films is a reality. That's your biggest problem.
I also think my reality has shown me a lot of healthy relationships.
Yeah. This is what's so interesting about us is that you have so many examples. Like what you were speaking about examples of love, I resonate with that so strongly and I feel pretty much exactly the same. But you have so many examples of great love.
More than not.
Which sets an expectation in a different way.
That's so interesting.
And it's like, it's not even just my family. Well, they're like, okay. But it's like my best mates, like my immediate friendship groups that I'm interacting with all day, every day. They're most of them, I would say almost all of them are in really happy, healthy, like tangibly healthy, happy relationships.
Yeah.
And so it does make you feel like the odd one out, but that's a whole other rep.
But also remember, everything comes back to like how you feel about yourself. And
It does, yeah.
We are constantly trying to find evidence to support what we believe. So if you believe you're not worthy, then you're going to use your current state to be like, well, this is evidence. And so it's just reminding yourself of that.
Yeah, it's a bit mean, isn't it?
It is so mean.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you think that your life would ever look like this? Like this level of contentment, of peace, of having gone through what you went through with BDD, having gone through what you went through, of not feeling like you had a purpose. Obviously, so much of your career now is about self-belief, but like, was the self-belief that great that you thought you'd be at this moment?
I like yes and no. So like no in that I never thought I didn't know if I'd ever feel like truly happy and confident. For many years, I thought that was just not meant for me. But I think as soon as I discovered manifestation, I think in that moment, it's like I just saw the power of it. And I was like, oh no, I am going to make my life the best it can be. I also always used to say in my, like when I was deep in my addiction, I would always say when I'm 30, I'm going to be sober. And I'm not completely sober, but pretty much. And so I like always knew. And as a kid, I always was sure I was going to have this really like affluent lifestyle, and that I really had like great hopes for myself as a kid, which I then, you know, I lost myself on the way. So like yes and no. Like no, I truly feel my life is more blessed than I ever thought possible, and I feel more at peace than I ever thought possible. But I also really had, when I found manifesting, I really had this strong sense of like, I'm going to get there. I'm going to do it. But yeah, it's strange. I mean, aging is also a strange thing. You know, I'm 35 now, and it's like, I find it so, do you not find just getting older so fucking weird?
So confronting.
I find it really odd. Like I love getting older because I love being like more, and like it's true what people say. Like you do feel more confident every year that passes, but then you're like, equally I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I've just started my life.
Yeah.
So it's like really weird, and you have to constantly come back to like being in the present moment.
It's so contradicting, isn't it? Like aging, because you just like get whiplash. I'm just going to go back to what you just said about how you felt when you were younger, and then you kind of like lost yourself and came back. I think that's one of the most important things to remember, is that when we come into this world, nobody's telling us that we're not good enough, or that we're not worthy of love, and we're not able to be confident. Like we're just young, happy kids. And then something really goes wrong in that middle section. And then we have to like bring ourselves back to remembering that if we thought we were good enough back then we can sure as shit tap back into it now.
Totally. Yeah, it's so much more uncomplicated then though, isn't it? Like the external factors aren't as loud. The like external influence isn't as busy. It's so hard to like keep control of how you're feeling about yourself from this very innocent point to then something that is influenced by so many things that aren't innocent. And then you're kind of you get corrupted in the middle. That's what happens.
I think what Sasha's saying is really interesting, because it's actually what I talk about in my books a lot, which is that we're all born into this world full of confidence, right? And then life happens to us, and to varying extents. Essentially, we all come to believe one thing, which is that we are not enough as we are. And so then we're just going through life compounding that belief, thinking we have to mold ourselves to be likable, lovable. And self-development and healing really is a journey back to ourselves. And I think the reason it's so important to know that is because what you realize is this unconfident me, it's actually not me at all. It's what I was conditioned to believe.
Totally.
But it's not who I am. Who we all are in our essence is these like truly happy, confident, like soulful, magnetic beings that deserve all the abundance of the world. We just have to get back and like almost like clear the fog so that we can see that version of ourselves again.
That's such a good way to think about it.
Yeah. I
So smart, Roxie, aren't you?
You are so smart.
Oh,
This is what we're going to finish off with these fun questions.
Okay.
But this is why I always say, when I say the words, I want to come home to myself, that's what I think about that little girl. That's how I've been on a big healing journey.
It's so powerful. Inner child work is
wild.
Okay, so we have really fun questions because we said that we had a straight talking date and love guest.
Snog expert.
So we're going to ask you 3 questions to have your hot take.
okay.
Number 1, nearly 30 and have never been in love or a relationship, and I'm embarrassed. People are weirded out by it too.
The question is,
Yeah,
what is the question?
well, I think the question is like, what's your advice in that situation?
What's your advice in that situation?
I think the most important question to ask yourself is, are you weirded out by it? Because it sounds like you're not at peace with it, because if you were at peace with it, you wouldn't allow the opinions of others to come in. And often we project. It might even have been just like one person has said something and we've gone, people in general are weirded out. But I think that's probably not the case. I think probably you feel uncomfortable with it, and so you're projecting that you think everyone else is. And so actually, how can you change your perspective on that? So instead of it being like this weird thing, actually it's this incredible thing that you haven't wasted time and energy on people who have lowered your self-worth even further, or made you feel shit. And actually you're saving yourself for someone who is going to like make you feel so alive and make you feel so safe and so at home. And actually just feel really excited that that is going to happen for you. And when it does, you're not going to be stained by all, tarnished by all the trauma and baggage that past relationships could have given you.
So is this your official title now as dating expert? Because that's fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Your dating advice is always, I'm always so like, you're up there in my people to go to when I have dating advice. And I really remember in one of my breakups sharing with you how affected I was by the judgment of everybody, and saying that people just don't understand, and they're like judging situations or judging actions. And you said to me, you're like, I just don't think like that. Like, I think everyone is out here just trying their best. And I remember thinking, yeah, that's how I want to be greeted when I come to someone for advice when it comes to like a breakdown in a relationship. I don't want to be told the black and whiteness of love, because it's not black and white. Right. We'll finish with this one. Just got broken up with. We've both been miserable for months. How do you let go of a relationship because of the fear of being alone outweighs the misery of staying? Oh, girl.
Oh, God.
Sash, you want to take that one?
Yeah, actually, that's probably one for me. No,
Go on.
No.
Do you know what? I mean, this is so many people feel this way, but I mean, the truth is you just cannot start a new chapter in your life while you're still stuck in the old one. And I think that actually when you go through a breakup, especially, I mean, you've just said you've been miserable for months. I want you to feel like excited. It's a new beginning. Change is always going to feel uncomfortable. And that's simply because our brains feel safest in what's familiar.
Yeah.
And so right now, all that's happening is almost like this physiological discomfort because it's something so different. But missing someone does not mean that they're meant for you. Feeling like upset or scared, that is not a reason to stay with someone. And so actually just being able to be like, it's okay that I miss them today. It's okay that I'm scared of being alone. All these feelings are actually just normal feelings that anyone feels in a breakup. But if I lean into them too heavily, I'm going to completely miss out on the opportunity of what's ahead of me.
Someone's written, how long should a first date be? I think Roxie's advice is 45 minutes.
100%.
That way you might actually fit in too.
Yeah. She ain't here to waste time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, all I would say, if the first date and you know in the first 10 minutes, this is why actually, do you know what? This is why not drinking makes dates shorter. If I was drinking, I'd be like, great, we'll just get drunk together and then whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're not, you're just like, I'm fucking bored. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? I am actually very accepting of not needing fireworks, and like I do take my time with getting to know someone.
Yeah, I mean a slow burn is great.
Yeah.
But if it's like immediate, like no.
Hell no, yeah.
Then you know, don't waste your time. Life's short.
True.
Life's long, but also short.
Sure. Okay, last question, a little fun one. When is the right time to sleep with someone?
As soon as you want to.
Yeah, it's different.
Hard agree.
Do you know what? I think it's like, if you want to do it because you want to do it, do it. If you're doing it because you hope that they'll stay or they'll give you attention, or you're doing it from a place that actually is coming from a place of low self-worth, no, you're not going to feel better for it.
Yeah.
You've got to feel empowered in that decision. But if you're like, I'm a little bit horny,
Go for your life.
Run free.
fucking go for it. I also think if someone really likes you, if a guy really likes you, sleeping with them on the first night does not make them run, right? If they were never going to like you anyway, it will.
Yeah.
But
also, if you just wanted to have sex, have sex.
exactly. You know, I am a fan of sleeping with someone on the first night. Me and Wade were on the first night. It was off to the races.
Whoa.
And, you know, we had a baby together, so didn't matter then.
Yep. There's no rule book to that one.
There's no rule book.
Circumstantial. I don't think we can thank you enough for bringing this version of you, Roxie Nafousi, to our Spillie sofa, which is currently residing at the Corinthia.
Sorry, it's not the
Stunning.
silliest office you've
I
ever
know.
seen.
Never
We are-
felt chicer
we're
walking
proud
in
of
here.
it.
We love that. That's the
Yeah,
feeling we want to give
thank
everyone.
you.
Welcome to our Corinthia sofa.
But before we go,
This is the real Roxie you're about to meet.
this is the real reason I'm here. So, if you've enjoyed the episode, please head to www.aliasenses.com to find your latest favourite fragrance.
My favourite is main character.
That's my favourite
Okay,
too.
so these are, I'm just going to give a really quick pitch.
Go for
Yeah,
your
do
life.
it.
Bitch.
Okay. Alter Ego Collection, 3 incredible scents. Main character, which is like floral, fresh, sexy, elegant. Powerhouse, tobacco, oud, wood. Scene Stealer, more like sweet, but not too sweet. They are 22% EVP, which means they're really strong, long lasting. They're actually, the perfume houses, the same people that make Roja, Le Labo, all of that. They are like amazing quality, but a more accessible price point. They're 30ml bottles, so they fit in your handbag. And we've also got a discovery set. And they're available at Space & K near you.
And that's why she's so successful. We have to do our tradition of finishing the podcast where we always say, love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
That was so cute.
Roxie, you're so great.
Oh, thank you
are so
guys.
great.